Or so welcome to Wednesday evening encore. So I'm going to start off with this question. If someone walked into your business today, would they pay you what you're worth? If someone called you and wanted you to was commission you to paint a wonderful piece of art, because we have some artists that are out here, would they pay you what you are worth? Or would they pay you what you've allowed? We're going to let that sit for a second. There are women who are brilliant, bold, and wildly gifted who have built empires out of undercharging. Now, you've been applauded for your pricing as far as being affordable. You have been labeled as nice, as reasonable, as easy to work with, but not powerful. So here's the paradox. You're celebrated for being cheap while secretly resenting how much it costs you. So this episode of Wednesday Evening Encore, we're going to talk about profit boundaries, not spreadsheets, not pricing calculators, but the deeper blueprint of how you train people to treat your value. Now, we know we're talking about the value that's from a profit standpoint. However, this value that we're going to speak on can also be, some of it can be used for your personal lives, as well. But however, we're in particularly targeting this towards the professional lives, especially those of you who are entrepreneurs, brands, coaches, CEOs, maybe running a small business, maybe about to get into a startup, and especially those of you who are in industries that are predominantly male driven. Those of you women, brands, coaches, CEOs, entrepreneurs that have some doubt as far as your own value, perhaps your own worth. You don't like to be told no, because you feel like a failure. So this is who this is geared to. Now let's talk about what's really expensive. What's really expensive is the friends and family discounts that you will never recover from, right? What's really expensive are the custom packages that drain your time and it never paid off. What's really expensive is the client who got the most yet gave you the least. Many of you have, because I've been there. I have been there where I've underpriced, myself, smiled when through the invoices that I felt was an insult. I have been in those particular places. I've been in a space, even as a male entrepreneur, in a space where I've sent out payment links. I know I didn't charge enough. I felt insulted. I sent over a link and I crossed my fingers, hoping that they change their mind. So you've told yourself, okay, hey, you know what? It's just business. It's just business. But your gut inside has screamed betrayal. You know, you have trained in doing this particular taking that particular route of underpricing, undervaluing yourself, allowing people to insult you, allowing people to disrespect and to betray you, you are training others to expect royalty level service at fast food pricing. And you wonder why you're exalted. You wonder why you feel behind. Why deep down inside you don't feel uh, celebrated anytime you win anymore. Anytime you gain a deal, gain a client, yet you've underpriced, you don't feel celebrated because you don't feel like it's a win. Not so, and not when, especially not when you're clapping just simply because you're surviving instead of scaling. And here's what I know: a woman who is undercharging is a woman who is undervaluing herself. So, if I asked you, what are your prices? You could tell me. If I ask you your value, most of you would pause. Why is that? Because price is math and value is memory. It's the moment that you cried after that invoice that you sent off, and you know that once they go through that particular service, it's going to change their life. It's that testimony that you received from your client that they did not post it publicly, but they sent it to you private. It's the that value is the energy that you bring into the room and the results you pull out of thin air. So if value is that sacred to you, why you let anyone else bargain with it? Let me say this a little bit, maybe, no, this is not a word, but we're going to inject it anyway. Plainer. Profit is not a dirty word, and boundaries are not barriers. They're invitations to respect. Now let's get into a little bit of a framework. Now, the problem is you've built your pricing from fear, not foresight. Fear she won't pay. Excuse me. Fear they'll compare you. Fear that you're not ready. So you're affordable, but you're not accessible, and you're definitely not abundant. What does that lead to? That leads to resentment in every invoice. An invoice is a required document that's needed in order for you to get compensated. It's a process. It's every company is going to ask for an invoice. Hey, send us the invoice. An invoice is part of the business. It's part of the flow, the part of the cycle of the business. It's a part of the currency process. It has to flow right. And if it's not flowing right, if it's not flowing with resentment, if it's not flowing with happiness, everything about that particular project is going to go haywire, inside of it. It's going to go so haywire to where you're not going to put your all into it. Even though you say, hey, I'm giving it my best, you're not feeling good in painting that particular piece of artwork or coaching with that particular client or painting a particular home or interior decorating. You're not putting your all into it because you have resentment inside of yourself, and you will not deliver your absolute best. You're going to feel burnt out after every delivery. And then there's going to be confusion in your brand, because what's going to end up happening, because of the resentment, you know, it happens with all of us, especially, those of us who are maybe a independent solopreneur, even though I don't like the word solopreneur. We're going to use it for the sake of this particular segment. You're limited as far as in your team, or maybe you're starting up, you created a startup. You're going to bring some confusion in your brand, because what can end up happening also is that, hey, people talk about pricing. Now they may not say that they do, but they'll talk about pricing, among themselves. Well, so and so and so charge this, and oh, they didn't charge this, and what did you guys get? And so there's confusion as far as, in the brand, wanting to know you as far as being cheap. And then when you're known as being cheap or affordable, it's tough to shift out of people getting that particular thought about your brand out of their brains. You're not scaling, you're surviving. And no spreadsheet will fix that. So, what is the solution? The solution is what I call profit boundaries. When you start charging based on what you celebrate, your confidence isn't in the price tag, it's in the proof. And when your prices match your power, they don't just respect you, they rise to meet you. I'm going to repeat that. They don't just respect you, they rise to meet you. So, what do you do? When do you do it? Why do you do it? And when you do it, what are you going to expect? So, what to do? You're going to define the boundary around your brilliance. That means pricing aligned with transformation, not time. Pricing aligned with transformation, not on your time. We should not, if someone can pay for your time. And I know there are many who are watching who are, their one client is their job, and that's great. However, if someone can pay you for your time, I want you to think about that. Time is an asset that you will never ever get again. It is priceless. So, price based on the transformation, the value, the change, the pivoting, all of that inside of what you provide for humanity, not the time. It means honoring your results, not your resume. When do you do it? Absolutely start right now on this episode of Wednesday Evening Encore. Not after you raise your audience, not after you feel ready. Confidence is not a prerequisite. It's a byproduct of boundaries. Now we said all this, we said what to do, and we talked about when to do it. We talked about, now let's talk about why do you do it? Because undercharging is what I'm going to call emotional leakage. Because every time you discount yourself, your subconscious self keeps score. Because your audience isn't confused, they're reacting to the cues that you've already set. Now, if you're emotionally leaking and your subconscious self is keeping score of every time you lose, they're going to be able to, your clients, your potential clients, your audience, when you're going to get a raise or you're going to ask for a raise, getting a new, maybe applying for a new job, for a new department, or a boost in salary, it's going to be able to it's going to come all out of you. It's going to ooze out of you. It's almost like they can smell it coming out of your skin about how confused you are. Your audience will be able to react to the cues that you've set. You will be displaying those cues and delivering all of that emotion and not knowing that of what you're doing, to yourself or what you have done. Now, when you apply all of this to make these adjustments and these changes, what can you expect? Now, some clients, some people may fall off. Actually, they will fall off. Yet there's some who are going to step up. And all of them will start to see you as a leader, not a laborer. Now, your new clients, they will match your new conviction. Let me tell you about a client, and for the some of you, she's pretty well known in the consulting world. Some of you may follow her, so I'm not going to say her name for the sake of this particular episode. However, I can tell the story, and just simply not going to use her name. For the sake of this episode, I'm going to call her Joy. And, Joy was charging $497 for a coaching package that literally changed lives. Literally changed lives. And when I say change lives, literally changed lives. Now, when I asked her why, she said that, and it's a good reason, because that's what I thought people could afford. Not that I want to help as many people as possible, but that's what she thought that people could afford. My statement to her, no. That's what you thought you were worth. And when she thought about that, it pivoted, reshaped her whole perspective about what she was building. So what we did was we rebuilt her offer around the outcomes. We reframed the value through the life that it created for her clients. We raised her rates without apology. And guess what happened in the next week? And it blew her mind. She landed 2 clients at the new rate of $2,500. And one of them said, I'll never forget it. She screenshot and sent it to me. She said, one of them said, I've been waiting for you to show up like this. Because they could tell by the cues that she was given and by that she was undervaluing herself. That's the power of profit boundaries. So here's the part where most people will feel inspired and then go back to shrinking. You're not most of those people. You've been watching this long because something inside of you knows that you have undercharged, undervalued either the last invoice or your last request for a raise, or just simply overall undercharge, what your value is. So here's what to do now. I offer a complimentary 15-minute brand blueprint session. Some of you may have taken advantage of that. And out of that, we will create you what will come with that will be a blueprint strategy. It's yours, absolutely, complimentary. Now, some of you may decide that, hey, you know what? Um, I know what I need. I need some transformation. I don't need it on my own, as far as a done for you or a done with you type of a situation. I want to go ahead and inject and get things started, almost kind of a done for you situation. We have what's called the re+inVent transformation system. But then there are some of you who want to be that high level customer service, that high level VIP, and you want some things that are done for you, customized for your business, for your own particular brands. And what we have there is what we call the brand power vault. It's no fluff. It's no egos. This is for the women who knows she's worth more, and who's ready to act like it. And let me say this clearly. I don't work with everyone, but if you're still here, I might just be the one to help you rewrite your value story. So I appreciate you for tuning in to Wednesday evening Encore. Next Wednesday, I've already prepared a topic I've started to prepare what I'm going to say for or talk about for next Wednesday. But the topic will be flip scar stories into sales goal. We're going to flip your scars. We're going to flip those scar stories, those horror stories, those stories that those hurt, that negative experience, that mess, right? That you've had in life, that you've gotten through, and we're going to help you to reframe that and turn that into a system, into where it creates sales for you. It creates sales goals. So that's what we're going to talk about next Thursday, how to turn your mess into your message and make some money off of it, because you're helping so many people. Because your pain has profit when it's packaged with purpose. So that's it for this episode of Wednesday Evening Encore. I appreciate you tuning in. Please follow, share, save, turn on notifications. Let your prices honor your becoming, because that celebration all starts with you.